Ladies and gentlemen, you ever notice how life doesn't ask whether you're ready before it hits you? It doesn't knock. It doesn't text ahead. It just walks right in, uninvited, and sits down in the middle of your plans. And in those moments when you feel stretched thin, when you're tired, when you're doubting yourself, that's where the real you begins to rise. Life has a way of squeezing you, not to break you, but to reveal you, to show you what's been inside you all along. Today, I want to talk about something we all face: hard seasons. Not the kind you post online, not the kind you can shake off in a day. I'm talking about the ones that test your foundation, your patience, your faith, your character. But here's the truth: when life gets hard, you rise higher, and I'm going to break down exactly how you do it. Pressure is one of those things we spend our whole lives trying to avoid. We want smooth days, soft landings, easy choices, but life doesn't work like that, and in truth, it's not meant to. Because pressure is the force that reaches inside you and pulls out the parts of you that comfort could never touch. It doesn't come to destroy you, it comes to introduce you to who you really are. Think back to the hardest season you've ever walked through, not the inconvenience, not the disagreement. I'm talking about the kind of moment that steals your sleep, shakes your confidence, and makes you question whether you're built for what you're facing. Maybe it was losing a job. Maybe it was a relationship falling apart. Maybe it was life changing faster than you could hold it together. In the middle of that pain, you didn't see purpose. You saw confusion. You saw fear. You saw uncertainty. But looking back now, you can admit something. You didn't stay the same. You came out wiser, tougher, more aware of what matters, more grateful for what lasts. That is purpose emerging from pressure. Pressure has a way of stripping away the unnecessary. When life presses you, all the noise falls away. You stop worrying about what people think. You stop chasing the things that were draining you. You start seeing what truly deserves your energy. Maybe pressure pushed you into a new direction, one you wouldn't have chosen on your own. Maybe it showed you that you were settling, or that you were hiding your gifts, or that you were living below the calling on your life. You never grow inside your comfort zone. You grow when you're stretched, when you're challenged, when you're forced to dig deeper than you ever imagined. You grow when you're backed into a corner and you discover strength you didn't know you had. You grow when you realize fear was just a wall, not a dead end. Look at a seed in the soil. From the outside, nothing looks like it's happening. But underground, pressure is building, the dirt is heavy, the darkness is real. Yet something inside that seed knows how to push, how to break, how to rise. It doesn't complain about the weight above it. It uses that weight to grow roots strong enough to survive the storm that will come later. If the soil were soft and easy, the roots would be shallow and weak. It's the pressure that gives the seed its power. Life works the same way for you. The pressure you face is not punishment. It's preparation. It's shaping you for doors that have not opened yet. It's training you for responsibilities you don't even know you'll carry. It's strengthening you for the moments where your voice, your courage, your resilience will matter to more than just you. Some of the greatest breakthroughs in history came from people who felt crushed before they felt called. People who failed over and over before they succeeded once. People who were counted out before they were lifted up. They didn't rise because life was easy. They rose because pressure pushed them into their purpose. When pressure comes into your life, don't shrink. Don't think it's proof that you're not enough. Don't mistake discomfort for danger. Stand in it, learn from it, grow through it. Let it refine you. Let it clarify who you are and what you're capable of. Let it teach you to trust the process, even when the process is painful. One day, you'll look back at this season and say that the weight you thought would break you actually built you. The pressure you feared actually revealed you. And the challenge you didn't ask for became the very thing that pushed you into the life you were meant to live. Struggle is one of life's greatest teachers, though it rarely feels that way while you're standing in the middle of it. When you're facing something heavy, when it feels like everything around you is fighting against your progress, you don't see strength being built. You see obstacles. You see fatigue. You see doubt creeping in, trying to convince you that you're not moving, not improving, not growing. But struggle is never wasted. Every challenge you face is quietly shaping a version of you that can handle more than you ever imagined. Strength isn't formed in calm waters. You don't become stronger by living a soft life filled with easy choices and predictable days. You build strength in the fire of resistance when something in you is forced to stretch, to grow, to rise higher than your circumstances. Think about a person who lifts weights. The weight isn't light. It's not comfortable. It pushes against them. It strains their muscles. But what happens in that discomfort is powerful. Fibers tear so they can rebuild stronger. Without resistance, the muscle never grows. Without struggle, neither do you. Life works the same way. The moments that test you, those are the moments that build you. Every setback, every disappointment, every challenge is like spiritual and emotional training. You may not see the results immediately, but something inside you is shifting. Your patience grows. Your resilience grows. Your perspective deepens. You start to understand that strength isn't just about surviving the battle. It's about learning how to stand taller because of it. Look back at a time you went through something difficult. In that moment, you probably questioned whether you were going to make it through. Maybe you felt overwhelmed or lost, but here you are. You didn't just survive it, you changed because of it. You learned something. You became more aware of what you can handle. You discovered a level of courage you didn't know you had. That is strength built through struggle. Real strength isn't loud. It doesn't brag. It doesn't need attention. Real strength shows up when life hits you hard and you keep moving anyway. It shows up when you fall, gather yourself, and rise again. It shows up when you're tired but still committed. It shows up when you choose integrity over convenience, growth over comfort, discipline over excuses. Look at trees in a storm. The trees that grow in places where the wind is fierce, where the earth shakes them, where seasons punish them. Those trees develop the deepest roots. They dig into the ground, anchoring themselves with everything they have. Trees that grow in easy environments might look beautiful, but they are fragile. They fall when the first real storm hits. But the trees shaped by wind and pressure stand tall through anything. Your life is no different. Struggle gives you roots. Sometimes struggle shows you that what you thought was a weakness is actually a strength, waiting to be awakened. Sometimes it teaches you to let go of what was never meant to stay. Sometimes it forces you to grow in ways comfort never could. And sometimes struggle is the only reason you discover the power that's been lying dormant inside you. There will be days when the climb feels too steep. Days when you feel like you're carrying more than your share. Days when progress feels slow or invisible. But keep moving, keep fighting, keep pushing forward, because the strength you're building right now will carry you through storms you haven't even encountered yet. And one day, you'll look back and realize that the struggle you once prayed to escape became the foundation of the strength you now depend on. You'll see that every difficult moment was preparing you for a life bigger than you imagined. Struggle isn't your enemy, it's your shaping force. It's the quiet architect behind your resilience. It's the unseen trainer preparing you for everything you're becoming. Embrace it, learn from it, and let it build you. Faith is the quiet strength that holds you steady when everything around you feels like it's shifting. It's the anchor beneath the surface, the part of you that believes even when your eyes can't see the outcome yet. Life will test you, it will shake you, it will put you in situations where your strength, your plans, and even your confidence won't be enough. And that is exactly where faith steps in. Not the loud kind, not the kind you post online, the kind that lives deep in your chest and whispers, "Keep going." Something greater is working even when you don't understand how. There are moments in life when everything seems to fall apart at the same time. You try to fix one thing and another thing breaks. You try to pull yourself together, but the weight keeps piling up. In those seasons, it's easy to think you're alone or that the struggle means you're failing. But faith reminds you that the story isn't over. Faith tells you that setbacks are setups in disguise, that delays are protection, and that the path you're walking has purpose even if it doesn't make sense yet. Think about a person building a house. Before anything beautiful rises above the ground, there has to be a foundation, deep, strong, unshakable. Nobody celebrates the foundation because nobody sees it. It's hidden, silent, unnoticed, but without it, the whole structure collapses the moment a storm comes. That's what faith is in your life. It's the part nobody sees. It's the strength nobody claps for. It's the resilience that grows in the dark, and when life brings you storms, and it will, faith is what keeps you standing while others fall. There's a story about a man planting bamboo. For years he watered the ground and saw nothing. No stem, no leaf, no sign of life. People laughed at him. They told him he was wasting his time, but he kept watering, because he had faith that something was happening underground. And one day, almost out of nowhere, that bamboo shot up nearly 100 feet in a matter of weeks. The truth is, the bamboo wasn't growing in those weeks. It was growing all along, under the surface where nobody could see. That's how faith works. It grows roots before results. Sometimes life slows down not because you're losing, but because you're being prepared. Faith reminds you that slow doesn't mean stuck. Quiet doesn't mean nothing is happening. Hidden doesn't mean forgotten. There are blessings building beneath the surface of your patience. There will be days when fear gets loud. Days when doubt starts telling you to quit. Days when you question whether you have what it takes. That's when faith becomes your voice. Faith tells you that you don't need to know the whole path, just the next step. Faith tells you that every tear you've cried, every challenge you've faced, every night you stayed awake wondering how you get through. It all matters, it all builds you, it all prepares you, and faith is not passive. It's not sitting still and hoping life will change. Faith is moving forward even when you feel unsure. It's trying again after failure. It's standing back up after being knocked down. It's choosing to believe that your purpose is bigger than your pain. When you let faith guide you, you stop chasing things that aren't meant for you. You stop forcing doors that were never yours to open. You stop comparing your progress to someone else's highlight reel. Faith teaches you trust. It teaches you patience. It teaches you that what is meant for you will find you, but you have to be ready to receive it. One day you'll look back and see that faith carried you through every valley and every storm. You'll realize that you weren't walking alone, even when you felt isolated. You'll see that faith wasn't just something you believed in. It was the force that kept you steady, focused, and unbroken. Faith is your foundation. Build on it, stand on it, return to it when the world gets heavy, because with faith at the center, there is no storm strong enough to take you down. Adaptation is one of the most powerful abilities you will ever develop, though it rarely gets the attention it deserves. We often celebrate strength, discipline, talent, and courage, but the ability to adjust, to shift, to transform yourself in the face of change, that is what truly separates those who survive from those who rise. Life does not stay still. Seasons change, people move on, opportunities come and go, plans fall apart, dreams reshape themselves, and if you cling too tightly to what used to be, you'll miss what could be. Adaptation doesn't mean losing yourself. It means expanding yourself. It means becoming flexible without becoming weak, steady without becoming stubborn. Think about water. Pour it into a cup, and it becomes the shape of the cup. Pour it into a river, and it flows with the current. Put it in the fire, and it turns into steam. Yet no matter how many forms it takes, it never stops being water. That is the kind of adaptability that will carry you through the hardest seasons of your life. The ability to bend without breaking, to shift without losing your identity. There have been times in your life when something changed so suddenly it stole your breath. Maybe a relationship ended. Maybe a job disappeared. Maybe the future you imagined collapsed overnight. In those moments, your first instinct might have been to hold on, to resist, to fight the change. But the truth is, every time life forced you to adjust, you didn't just survive, You grew. You discovered a part of yourself you hadn't met yet. You learned new skills. You built new courage. You found new paths. Adaptation led you somewhere your old plans never would have taken you. Look at nature. The strongest animals aren't the biggest or the fastest. They are the ones who adapt. Scientists say the reason humanity exists at all is because our earliest ancestors learned how to adjust to new environments, new climates, new threats. Without that ability, none of us would be here. Adaptation is in your blood. It's a power wired into you from the beginning, but in modern life we forget that. We get comfortable, we repeat routines. We memorize the predictable, so when change shows up, it shakes us. But the truth is, change is not the enemy. Change is an invitation. It's life saying, there is more in you, more to learn, more to build, more to become. You were not created to stay the same. Sometimes adaptation looks like taking a new path when the old one closes. Sometimes it looks like learning a skill you never thought you would need. Sometimes it looks like letting go of a version of yourself that no longer fits the life you want. And sometimes adaptation is as simple as changing your perspective, deciding to see opportunity instead of tragedy, possibility instead of defeat. One of the most powerful examples of adaptation can be found in people who reinvent themselves after loss. A person who loses everything but still finds a way to rebuild. A person whose career ends, but they discover a talent they never knew they had. A person whose heart breaks, but they learn to love again in a stronger, healthier way. These transformations don't happen because life got easier. They happen because people learned how to adapt to what life gave them. Your ability to adapt is what makes you unstoppable. It allows you to move through storms without collapsing. It gives you the strength to face uncertainty with steady eyes. It teaches you how to rebuild, how to grow, how to stand tall in a world that changes faster than you can predict. Adaptation turns challenges into stepping stones. It turns failures into lessons. It turns endings into beginnings. And the truth is, every time you adapt, you prove to yourself that you are stronger, smarter, and more resilient than you once believed. You learn that you are capable of evolving into the person your future requires. You learn that you can trust yourself in unfamiliar territory. And you learn that no matter what life brings, you have the power to rise through it, not just endure it. Adaptation is your superpower. Use it, embrace it. Let it shape you into someone who can walk into any season and say, I may not have chosen this, but I am built to handle it. And with every change you face, you'll discover that you're not just surviving, you're becoming. Rising higher is often misunderstood. Many people think it means chasing titles, applause, or proving something to the world. They think it's about climbing a ladder where success sits at the top waiting for them. But real elevation, the kind that lasts, the kind that fills your life with meaning, doesn't come from shining brighter than others. It comes from serving something greater than yourself. It comes from using your growth, your strength, your gifts to lift someone else, to make an impact, to leave a mark beyond your own name. There comes a point in life when personal victories stop feeling like enough. You get the job, you buy the car, you reach the goal, and for a moment it feels good. But there's a deeper part of you that starts asking, what is all this for? Who am I helping? How is my rise making life better for someone else? That is the moment when real purpose begins. That's when you understand that rising higher isn't about becoming more important. It's about becoming more useful. Think about the people you admire, the ones who inspire you, the ones who have touched your life. They didn't just achieve things for themselves. They gave something to others. They shared wisdom. They extended a hand. They used their stories, their struggles, their successes as fuel to guide someone else. They understood that the gifts they carried weren't meant to be kept. They were meant to be given away. When you rise, someone else is watching. A younger sibling, a child, a friend, a stranger who crosses paths with you at just the right moment. Your courage teaches them courage. Your discipline teaches them resilience. Your compassion teaches them love. Your faith reminds them to believe in something bigger than what they can see. You might think your journey is personal, but your growth is always connected to someone else's breakthrough. There's a powerful truth in nature. The tallest trees aren't just strong. They provide shade, shelter, and protection for everything growing beneath them. Their strength isn't for show, it's for service. The higher they grow, the more they give, and life calls you to do the same. Your experiences, your lessons, your victories, they become tools you carry, not for your own comfort, but to help others rise. Sometimes serving something greater looks like offering guidance to someone who feels lost. Sometimes it's stepping into a role you didn't expect because others need your leadership. Sometimes it's choosing integrity when shortcuts tempt you. Sometimes it's simply showing up with kindness in a world that forgets how powerful kindness can be. And serving doesn't always mean you have to stand on a stage or influence thousands. It can mean raising a child with love and values. It can mean supporting a friend through their darkest moment. It can mean building a business that creates opportunities for others. It can mean living with character, so your actions speak louder than any speech you could ever give. One of the most fulfilling parts of rising higher is realizing that the more you give, the more your life expands. When you help someone else grow, you grow. When you lift someone else, you rise too. When you pour into others, you never run dry. You gain wisdom, gratitude, and purpose that achievements alone could never give. Life has a way of rewarding those who serve something greater. Doors open. Strength increases, peace settles in, because when your heart is aligned with something meaningful, your path becomes clearer. You stop living only for what you can get and start living for what you can give. That shift changes everything. So as you rise in your life, in your career, in your character, in your relationships, remember that the higher you go, the more responsibility you carry. Not to control, not to dominate, not to collect praise, but to serve. To make the path easier for those who come after you, to shine a light for those still searching for direction, to become the kind of person whose presence makes others feel capable of rising too. Rising higher means serving something greater. And when you embrace that, you discover the kind of success that doesn't fade, the kind of impact that outlives you, and the kind of life that feels full from the inside out. So when life gets heavy, don't run, don't shrink, don't doubt what you carry. Pressure reveals purpose. Struggle builds strength. Faith anchors your soul. Adaptation keeps you moving, and rising higher lifts the world around you. Hard times don't mean you're failing. Hard times mean you're becoming. Stand tall, step forward. Rise higher than the moment that tried to break you, because life doesn't get easier, but you get stronger.